Greetings, everyone who's about to come on tonight. We got a very interesting show and topics. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the landmarks of Freemasonry. The landmarks of Freemasonry. The rules and regulations of Freemasonry. Who make these rules? Where did they come from? Who do they govern? We're going to have this discussion tonight in regards to the rules and regulations of Freemasonry, especially upon the landmarks of Freemasonry. I believe that the landmarks of Freemasonry is something that we should definitely consider. I would say this: not all Grand Lodges abide by those landmarks of Freemasonry. Out of the 24, 25 landmarks, Grand Lodges have a choice of which landmarks they want to abide by. Some Grand Lodges chooses not to abide by any of them. They have their own rules and regulations which governs them. Some Grand Lodges choose to abide by certain landmarks. But tonight, we're going to get into some of the specifics of landmarks tonight, and also the landmarks for the Order of the Eastern Star. So I hope that you will be able to get something out of this show tonight and be able to pass this discussion on. I believe it's very important for those of us who practice Freemasonry, those of us who are enjoying the craft, understands the craft. Tell me this, brothers and sisters of the craft, and those who may be interested in joining Freemasonry. First of all, you must find out which landmarks do your Grand Lodge abide by. If at all any, are there 5 or 6? Which landmarks do your Grand Lodge abide by? Because some Grand Lodges do not abide by any other landmarks because of their own constitution, their own bylaws that governs that jurisdiction. So we're going to get into this conversation tonight. I hope, as always, that you get something out of this. And I'm looking forward to a great show. I want to welcome everybody that's coming on. Also, tonight, as we get into the show, I will be giving away a CD disc. I didn't give it away at the last show, but I will give it away this month. This would be a CD, and it's by Symbols and Allegories. It's a CD. It's the version of the book that I gave away on last month, and I'm hoping that I will give away this CD. If you would just bear with me for a moment. You know what? I'm not going to go get it. I'm going to give away this CD, and I'm going to give it away later in the show as others begin to come on. What we're trying to do is to make sure that during the process we give away books and CDs. We want people to enjoy Masonry, and this is our way of spreading the semen of brotherly love by saying, look, because you support this show, because you watch this show, we're willing to do that. Also, for those who have contributed to the show financially, there's something I want to share with you, and I can only give away one. So I definitely will share that with you tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be right back. So bear with me. I'm going to go get these items real quick. I want to share with you, okay? All righty. I'm back. Thank you for holding on. So look, tonight we're going to be giving away this CD tonight. As you can see, this is the allegories and symbolism of Freemasonry. It's on CD, and it has music in the background as it explains things to you, so you can put this in your car, whatever, you at home, you relax, and you can definitely check this out. We're going to be giving away this CD tonight, and I'll tell you how to do that later in the show. Next, all right. So for those who have been supporting this show, I just got this in today. And if you want this, we're going to send this to you free. This is for those who have supported the show, and I know exactly who you are. We're going to send this to you free. Okay? You're going to be getting this free, and I'm going to tell you how you can get it. This is a whole thing. It is, this is done by one of our brothers in the craft. It also has the sweats with it. Okay. We're going to be giving these two things away tonight, but this goes to those who have supported the organization financially, and this will go to those who want to have the CD. And you must be a Mason in order to get this. So if you're just on here, you're just checking out the channel, I'm gonna let you know now, this goes to the Freemasons who want this. Also, if a sister of the order wants something like this, we can have this done for you too, also, sisters, with the star on the front. Okay, so just want to share that. I can't leave my sisters out. So we're gonna be definitely getting into this tonight. We're talking about the bylaws and customs, and we're talking about the landmarks of Freemasonry, the rules and regulations of Freemasonry. We're breaking this all down tonight. We're not going to go too deep into it, but we're going to go just deep enough so you can have a better understanding of it. So with that being said, welcome aboard, everyone. I appreciate you for tuning in. Those who were able to get in tonight, definitely, I know that, man, I need to remember always to give my two guys a call or to let them know that I'm doing a show tonight. And that is definitely my administrators. We got to get on the same page. I got to get on their page because I get on here sometimes and it is like, wow, I just go in. So I want to make sure I get them involved so they'll know exactly what's happening. Let me see. How's everybody doing today? Hope that you're doing well and that your family is healthy. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to let him know that I'm going live. Greetings, Mr. Jackson. I'm going live. So he has that, and hopefully he can get on. So greetings once again, everyone. Reginald, what's up? Are you enjoying that book, Reginald? Because tonight we got the CD with that. We're going to be giving away the CD to the book that you received last month. We're going to give away the CD to that. And hopefully everybody will be able to join it. This is Mary Holmes' brother again. What's up? What's up, Jason Brooks? How you doing? I appreciate it, bro. Good, good. Charles, what's up? Greetings to everybody who's coming on. So look, we're going to get right into this. In the first, one of the landmarks we're going to look at, one of the first landmarks we're going to look at that's very important, I think it is. If you got a landmark that you would like to talk about, just put it in there. You know, just put it in there. And we can have that discussion. But tonight, one of the landmarks I'm looking at tonight that I thought is going to that rings a bell for everyone, that I thought was, you know, I like this landmark. Okay. Landmark number 15. Landmark number 15. I'm not going in any particular order tonight. So if you think I'm not going in no order tonight, but we're going to talk about landmark number 15. Landmark number 15. It is a landmark of the order that no visitor unknown to a brother present or someone of them as a Freemason can enter a lodge without first passing the examination according to the ancient usage of courses. If the visitor is known to any brother present to be a Mason in good standing, and if the brother will vouch for his qualification, the examination may be dispensed with, as the landmarks reference only to the cases of strangers who are not to be recognized, unless after strict trials, due examination, or lawful information. That is landmark 15. It's landmark 15. You don't have to even go into it any further, but it's as simple as it gets. You, as a Freemason, we often talk about visitation and lodges we can visit around the world. But if your Grand Lodge has this landmark that they abide by, it clearly says that a brother who's visiting your lodge can visit through strict trials and examination and lawful information. And it also says that if a brother of that lodge can vouch for that brother, then they can visit. Now, here's the other side of that. Here's the other side of that. Lodges, grand lodges, and jurisdictions may have in place their own bylaws that put restrictions on this particular landmark, number 15. It may clearly says if we do not recognize this particular grand lodge and they're not in our books, which we call recognition, we don't have them listed as a lodge that we recognize or a jurisdiction we recognize, they can visit. They can visit. However, here's another side of that. The worshipful master may say, I know that particular brother. I know him to be who he claimed that he is, and I'm allowing him to visit. It is clearly up to the worshipful master to allow any brother to visit his lodge. It's his right. It's his privilege. Okay? A brother can say, no, I don't want. It's the worshipful master. He's the senior officer in the lodge. And it's of his own free will and accord. And that brother has shown himself to be who he claims he is. He has a right to visit if the worshipful master grants him that right. And somebody can vouch for him. Those are just the simple rules of visiting. You know, if the worshipful master says, well, you know, according to our bylaws, our constitution, you know, you can visit based upon this. Nobody's here to vouch for you. And I don't know who you are. Your name is not, your lodge or your jurisdiction is not in any of our books. So therefore, my brother, I'm sorry that you won't be able to sit in our title lodge tonight. Is their right. Is their right. So just look at these bylaws. I mean, just look at these landmarks for yourself. And this is why I say some grand lodges abide by all 20, 25 landmarks, and some don't. Some grand lodges pick and choose the landmarks that they would abide by. It's a fact. It's not something I'm guessing. Just talk to some of the brothers from the various jurisdictions. They would tell you, we don't abide by Mackey's landmarks of Freemasonry. And they don't have to. There's no rules that says that they have to do that. None at all. Grand lodges establish their own bylaws and their own constitution. Some brothers of the craft like to quote Anderson Constitution. Well, Anderson Constitution wasn't written for your jurisdiction, nor was it written for your grand lodge. It was not. It is something that truly some Masons like to go and quote and abide by, to place blame or to point something out at other jurisdictions. That has nothing to do with you. It's called Anderson Constitution for a reason. It belongs to Anderson in that jurisdiction for which it was governed under. Okay? So when you get into these different things and landmarks and all of that, find out about your constitution and your bylaws. Find out how your grand lodge is structured as far as visitation is concerning with another member. I will tell you here in this jurisdiction, if a brother wants to visit, he definitely has to be vouched for. He definitely would have to pass the examination of visiting. And that's just the rules. That's just what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. So if you got any question tonight, you want to put something in there, definitely go ahead. Phoenix Lodge number. What's up, bruh? How you doing from Phoenix? I appreciate you tuning in tonight. Big Coop, how you doing? Lodge Professor, how you doing? Peace and greetings to you. Hope everybody is doing well. So tonight, once again, we're talking about Freemasonry and the landmarks of Freemasonry. So we're just getting down with some of the things that I find in the landmarks that are pretty useful. I would say in our jurisdiction, we abide by the landmarks of Mackey's jurisprudence. We do to some extent, as long as they don't, as long as our constitution that belongs to my jurisdiction governs our grand lodge, and our bylaws governs our bylaws, our grand lodge. Now, where the landmarks comes to play is based upon our constitution and our bylaws. Okay, that's just how we do it here. All grand lodges do it differently, and that's their business. And speaking of their business, landmark 16 says no lodge can interfere with the business of another lodge. No lodge can interfere with the business of another lodge. That is landmark number 16. And it goes in depth as far as how does that come into play, because some brothers of the craft like to get into business of somebody else's. They do. They like, hey, what you? They like to go into the bushes of someone else's jurisdiction, someone else's lodge, and try to tell them how it's done when it's not. It is not done that way in their jurisdiction. So the way you do it and the way they are working it is totally two different things. You can't go and tell them how to work their business. You can't do it. So as we go on with tonight, please hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button. And I'm hoping that sooner or later my administrators will come in here. And I'm hoping that as we go on tonight, that you will get something out of this as we go through the landmarks of Freemasonry. And not all of them, but just some of them in particular. I'm quite sure that most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with the landmarks and understanding the Anderson Constitution. Like I said, it belongs to Anderson. That's the Anderson Constitution. It was written during a time of Freemasonry for the Grand Lodge of England. Okay, that's who it was written for. It's called Anderson Constitution. It is not called no other than that. It belongs to them. And anytime you try to take that constitution and apply it to your jurisdiction, then your jurisdiction takes on Anderson Constitution. Okay, it takes that on. My Grand Lodge has its own constitution that it abides by and is governed. Good evening. How you doing there, Brother Bird? Hope everything is going well with you. Now, landmark number 19, a belief in the existence of God as the grand architect of the universe is one of the most important landmarks of the order. It has always been deemed essential that a denial of the existence of a supreme being in supernatural powers there is an absolute disqualification of an initiation. Okay, the annual of the order never yet have furnished any and could furnish or institute anything above that. An atheist was never even made a Freemason. The very ceremonies of the first degree forbidden any or prevent any possibility of the ceremony. So in other words, that if a person who's seeking to become a Mason, he first must believe in a supreme being. Boom. It doesn't give a name to it. It clearly says in landmark number 19 that you must believe in a supreme being. Now, the Grand Lodge of France, okay, split because some of the members, there was two things that was happening with the Grand Lodge of France and the reason they split. One is that they had co-ed Freemasonry. Another one is that they removed the Bible from the altar. Now, in ancient customs and times, the Bible was never upon the altar of Freemasonry. Hear me clearly, and this is a fact. This is not something I'm just telling you because I believe in it and it was the truth. This is a fact. The custom of Freemasonry, at one time, the Bible was not even on the altar at all. The only thing that you had on the altar of Freemasonry was the compass and square. That was it, along with the tapers. Those were the only items on Freemasonry. Now, when Christianity, hear me clearly, when Christianity moved into Freemasonry, the Bible became a part of it. And that's a fact. You can look this up for yourself. When Christianity moved into Freemasonry, the Bible became what we call a piece of furniture in Freemasonry. It did. That's a fact. If you don't believe me, I'm not trying to make you believe me, but what I'm saying is you can look this up for yourself. This is not something that is hidden or I'm trying to pull the wool over your eyes. I'm clearly saying, based on Freemasonry and its history, the Bible was added to Freemasonry when Christianity was brought into it, introduced into it. But before then, no, there was no Bible on the altar of Freemasonry at all. You only had the compass and square and the ancient customs of Freemasonry. That's a fact. That's true. And then as Masonry grew, the various faiths began to place their Bible upon Freemasonry. In the United States, some Grand Lodges, not all, they only want a King James version of the Bible on the altar, period. They only want that. Some jurisdictions allow a brother to have various Bibles upon the altar, depends on their jurisdiction. I would say, in particular, for my jurisdiction, the most for John G. Jones Grand Lodge of California, the lodges that works under this jurisdiction are allowed to have various books of faith upon the altar because the brothers of the craft mirror those different faiths, be it a Muslim or Hindu or a brother who may practice Islam as far as a Shiite or just various different faiths. Their Bible is welcome upon the altar here in this jurisdiction. In some jurisdictions, it's not happening. It's not. So please, if you don't mind, hit the like button. And if you think I'm missing something tonight, please let me know in the chat room. I appreciate it. Thank you. And if you want to call in tonight, you're certainly welcome to do so. If you want to call in, you can do that too. There's the number right there. So if you want to call in tonight, you're certainly welcome to do so. So tonight we're talking about the landmarks of Freemasonry. We're not going through them all, just some of them that I thought that was important to brothers of the craft who are listening tonight. And I thought this may even pique your ear in understanding the Freemasonry from the landmark point of view. As I said earlier, all of these landmarks that are in here, all jurisdictions do not abide by them. All of them do not abide by them. Now, let's take a look at landmark number 14. So we took a look at landmark number 15, but let's go to number 14. Number 14 says, the right of every Freemason to visit and sit in every regular lodge. That's what it says. Now, the question is, do your jurisdiction abide by landmark 14? Do your jurisdiction abide by landmark number 15 that says the right of every Freemason to visit and sit in every regular lodge? Does it abide by that? Or do your jurisdiction have what they would say an addendum to that? You know, as I've stated before, is your lodge recognized by that particular jurisdiction? Is that what they have? So it's going to be up to you to really look at that and see for yourself, okay? So once again, it says landmark number 14, the right of every Freemason to visit and sit in every regular lodge. It says in the unquestionable landmarks of the order. This is called the right of visitation. This right of visitation has always been recognized as an inherited right, which ensures to every Freemason as he travels through the world. And this is because a lodge are justly considered as only a division for convenience of the universal Masonic family. This right may, of course, be impaired or forfeited on special occasions by the visitor circumstances, but when mission is referenced or refused to, a Freemason in good standing who knocks at the door of the lodge as a visitor, it is to be expected that some good and significant reason shall be furnished for the visitor, of which is in general a Masonic right founded on the landmarks of the order. So it is founded upon the landmarks of the order that every brother has a right to visit the Masonic lodge. But we know that that's a lie. Let's just be truthful. For those of us who practice Freemasonry, for those of us who have traveled in Freemasonry, we know that that's a lie. And we say that because we see it right. Let me rephrase that. It's a lie in the United States. Let's put it to you that way. That landmark is a lie in the United States. because Grand Lodges have constitutions that they're written for themselves, that they abide by, that super exceed that particular landmark, number 14. It does. And I explained it and it comes from landmark number 15. So if you have a brother who wants to visit your lodge, and let's say a stranger comes knocking at the door and wants to visit your lodge, and he has passed the examination of the Tyler. He's done that work. And just so happens, the worship master is informed that this brother would like to visit. And you've done all of your business. See, a brother, some lodges don't allow visitors to come in when you're doing business. Okay. Now, let's just say, for instance, your business is done and you're having a general topic or lecture in your lodge. That brother knocks at your door. He passes the examination of the Tyler. He passes over his membership card, showing that he's an active member in a jurisdiction. He has a right to visit according to the landmark number 14. But if your constitution stipulates that this brother cannot visit because he's not in the books or records, or his Grand Lodge is not in the books or records of this jurisdiction, it's a wrap. So I don't know why we tell people when they join Freemasonry that you have a right to visit every jurisdiction. That is a lie. And that's a fact. But we like to tell people, hey man, when you become Mason, boy, you can visit any lodge you want to. That's a lie. You can visit any lodge you want to that accept you to come and visit them. That's a fact. That's more truthful than telling a brother that you can visit any lodge you want to, because lodges have restrictions on visitation. Period. They do. And they put those restrictions in based upon their constitution, based upon who they want to come and sit in their lodge. And they have a right to do that. I ain't mad at them. That's why I always tell people, go where you're welcome and respect it. If you're in a place or a lodge or a jurisdiction that doesn't respect the fact or give you the freedom to go where you want to go, then, you might be in the wrong place. I'm just saying, if your Grand Lodge restricts you from going and visiting where you want to go and visit, I got a problem with that. And that's why I'm here. I don't have those typical restrictions. If a brother invites me out to visit his lodge, he's vouching for me, and I get there, he vouched for me and I go in, I'm cool with that. Okay? I'm cool with that because my Grand Lodge doesn't place restrictions on the fact of where I can go and what lodge I can sit in. Because it clearly says, until I have found him or them as worthy and qualified as I am myself. And this landmark clearly says that every brother has a right to visit any lodge he chooses to, but we know that that's a lie. Just like 15 says, it is a landmark of the order that no visitor unknown to a brethren present or someone of them as a Freemason can enter the lodge. So if no one knows that this person is a Mason, no, he can't visit. But if the Tyler has tried him and he's found and the Tyler has found him to have passed the examination in the wish from, yeah, he can visit. But we know, once again, that's not true. Okay? That's not true. That's why it's called a bypass. Oh, that's what I call it. That's a good one. That's a good one. So that's landmark 14. That's landmark 15 we went over, just touching upon some of them. And the sisters have their landmarks too. I don't know how many of you know that, but the Sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star has landmarks also. So sisters, please check and see what landmarks do your chapter follow. Because as I said before, all jurisdictions do not follow all 25 landmarks. They do not. Some do, but not all. All right? So, all right, let's take a look at landmark number 19. Landmark number 19 clearly says a belief in the existence of God as the grand architect of the universe is one of the most important landmarks of the order. It has always been deemed essential. Landmark number 19 clearly says that you If you are a Mason, you have to believe in a supreme being. Period. That's landmark number 19. Once again, as I said before, all jurisdictions do not abide by all landmarks. They don't. Okay? So, let's see if I got another good landmark here that I think would be. Let's see, landmark number 10. The government of the craft, when so congregated in a lodge by masters, 2 wardens, is also a landmark. Okay? Now, if you have a master and 2 wardens, that's the lodge of a master mason. You can open and do your business in your works. That's landmark number 10. Now, it also says allow influence of these ancient laws may be observed by way of the congregation of Freemasonry meeting together under other governments, as that, for instance, of a president, vice president, or a chairman or sub-chairman would not be recognized as a lodge. The presence of a master and 2 wardens as is essential and valid operation of a lodge as a warrant or constitution as it is a present day. The name of course varies in different languages. The master, for instance, being called a venerable in French Freemasonry, and the warden sub-venerable by the officers. Their numbers are different and their duties are everywhere identical. So no matter where you go, they're saying that the names of the officers may change depending on the language, but their jobs and duty doesn't. So if you got a wish for master and 2 wardens, you can open a lodge of master mason. That's landmark number 10. And you can go and get yourself a Mack's jurisprudence and pick that up and read it for yourself and find out if I'm lying to you. That's the truth. Do you need me to come on and explain what a bypass is in the works and register application and submit it? Yeah, why not? Why not? Come on, Brother Coop, Big Coop, why not? Just call in at 286-0642. Just call in that number. I think I left a number out right there. So again, that number is 619-286-0642. So yes, please call in. Please call in. And you can break that down to him. Brother Coop is a lawyer, Esquire, so he can break that down to you. More than likely a lot better than I can. As far as dealing with these landmarks and how they translate. But definitely, as an individual Mason, you need to know the landmarks and you need to understand, do your Grand Lodge abide by all of these landmarks? Do they? Please touch on the landmark number 8. Landmark number 8. Let's take a look at landmark number 8. I'm going to go back here. I hope everyone is staying safe. The prerogatives of a Grand Master to make Freemasonry. What do you want to talk about, my brother? Let me see. Please touch on landmark number 8 regarding a Grand Master making Master Mason on site. I believe clearly. Is needed and due, and some leaders believe that they can simply establish someone as a Master Mason by himself, which is not entirely true. You're absolutely right. Even though this says that the Grand Master has the prerogative to make Master Masons on site, there's a process. There's a process, okay? So according to this particular landmark, if the Grand Master has the power of granting any other Masons the privilege of presiding over a lodge working by his dispensation, he may assume this privilege of proceeding to himself. And as no one can deny his rights to revoke his dispensation granted to a number of brothers at a distance and dissolve the lodge at his pleasure, it will strictly be contended that he may not revoke his dispensation for the lodge over which he has himself presided. All right. So now, if a Grand Master is going to make any Master Mason on site, there is a process. He just can't walk up to someone and say, I'm going to make you a Master Mason on site in my jurisdiction. That is not how it's done. Let me rephrase that. That's not how it's done here in my jurisdiction. I can't speak for every jurisdiction, but just to give you my insight, no, that's not how it's done. Usually when a person is made a Master Mason on site, it is within the constitution of a lodge that is working under that jurisdiction. That is to say that clearly Master Masons are present when this is done. Okay, he's not just walking down the street saying, oh, I'm gonna make you a Master Mason on the spot, come over here, blah blah boom. It doesn't happen that way. The way it should happen is that brother that has been that the Grand Master sees fit that he is deserving of being made a Master Mason on site must be done in a constituted lodge, period. Once it's done in a constitution lodge, he makes that brother on site by giving him the obligations, meaning 1, 2, and 3. Once those obligations are given, that brother is entitled to all rights, lights, and privileges of that worshipful lodge, that jurisdiction. He is, because now he's a member of that jurisdiction. He's now a Freemason. So landmark number 8, although it states that the Grand Master may have the prerogative to do it and preside and do his thing, there's a process. Now check this out. The flip side of that is, what if he does it for 8 brothers? He has 8 brothers. He makes them all a Master Mason on site in the jurisdiction. Hold on just a second. Greetings.
Hey, Pastor, that's big too. What you need help with?
Hey, right now, I'm talking about the prerogatives of the Grand Master of making a Master Mason on site. And I'm clearly saying that, yes, he can do it, but it must be done in the confines of a lodge with the brother Master Mason. He's just not walking down the street doing that. There's a process.
It must be done within the confines of that constitution and bylaws of that lodge.
Absolutely.
So you cannot just make anyone a Master Mason.
Correct. And that's what we're getting into tonight. That no, he just can't go and do it. However, check this out though. There are 9 individuals that he has made on site. He himself can serve as worshipful master of that lodge. And not only can he do that, now those members have a right to vote in their jurisdiction. Then after, I'm just telling you, this is a serious head game. After they have voted and did whatever they're going to do, because they're under his dispensation, his charter, he can dissolve the lodge. He can say, okay, we're going to dissolve the lodge. Brothers, you can go into any other lodge you want to, but I'm going to withdraw my dispensation and charter, and you can go and reside in another lodge. It says that here in landmark number 8.
Well, you got to think about what you just read, past Grand. You read his dispensation.
That's right. It's not a Grand Lodge dispensation.
It is his.
It is his.
Therefore, he is his own governing body.
Absolutely.
You know, it's the same way within the law. It's the same way within the law of America. When you go to his, that means his thought, his right, his privilege. So he can do all these things up under that charter which he sits up under.
Yeah.
Because he governs. So with that being said, earlier when you said something about bypass, the bypass means that you can bypass the regularities of the law used for one's insight. So it's the power, not a governing body.
Okay.
You know, so I was just sitting there watching the show, and I just wanted to show you that, you know, and once you go into these lodges, and I told you about registry, application, and submission.
Right.
To put in an application in legal terms means to beg.
To put in an application in legal terms means to beg?
To beg or to pardon.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So once you're in there, you have put in your application, you have begged to be a part of this lodge. Now you are a registered member, which gives you a dues card. And once you become all of this, you stand under what is called visitation. You have submitted yourself up under the governing authority of this lodge or of this law. So with that being said, there's a lot of lodges out here that govern themselves and can make their own bylaws, their own constitution.
But if a lodge is out there by themselves, as you just said, according to the landmarks, that would be considered a clandestine lodge because they're not operating under a guidance of a grand lodge.
That's right.
Okay. Now, I know, I've heard, I've seen, I've witnessed where brothers have, oh, you're clandestine, Hawkins, but they don't use the word correctly. The word is used incorrectly when applied to quite a few different people. Okay.
That's right. And that's right. They use the word clandestine in the wrong context.
Correct. They absolutely.
See what is clandestine, and I know from personal experience and witnessing it myself, they do not call these independent lodges clandestine.
Okay, what do they call them?
They call them regular lodges.
They call them what lodges?
Regular lodges.
Do they? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you why that's interesting. Because when I'm dealing with us, people that look like me, okay, that's the first thing they like to say.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So, but when I'm dealing with the other folks, they don't even go that route.
They will not go that route.
You know.
I've seen what they call code freemasonry.
Say that word again.
Code freemasonry.
Really?
It's big up here in the Midwest. It's big.
I'm listening. You got my ear.
And I have seen them call code freemasonry lodges regular. Where there are men and women in the lodge.
Okay.
But they don't look like us.
That's interesting.
So they're governing themselves by their own bylaws and own constitution.
Well, okay. All grand lodges are governed by their own landmarks and constitution. Let's just be real here. The process is that most of us, African American majority Black grand lodges, tend to pit at each other. Let's just be blunt and honest. They tend to put at each other. When I say put at each other, they tend to more likely challenge each other's legitimacy before they challenge anyone else's legitimacy. I don't know. We just do that for some odd reason. Some of us have not yet arrived. So we continue to do that over and over again.
Well, when you say that, I think about an individual. A book I read in law school about a brother named Edwin Benez. Have you ever heard of Edwin Benez?
I have not.
father of propaganda.
Okay, I've heard of propaganda, but go ahead.
He is the father of propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
And propaganda means to control one's thought so they will believe what you want them to believe.
Okay.
And it not only plays in the world, but it also plays in the Masonic lodges.
Mm-hmm.
And they have used it against the brothers, us, the melanated brothers. They have used it so much that we can't see through the propaganda.
Well, bro, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get ready to close because I'm getting ready to do a live Zoom. Is that the sad thing is that we have not yet arrived. And when I say that, I'm saying for those Masons who join the Masonic order, a lot of them don't get the needed support or the education. They go along with the propaganda.
Well, brother, I'm going to tell you this story before I get off. I was in Tyler, Texas, and I was invited to a lodge to see a brother raised.
Mm-hmm.
And he invited a few more brothers.
Right.
Now, take into consideration, this was a Caucasian friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to the lodge, and you know, we do what we do.
Okay.
They let me in because I was ancient, free, and accepted. They didn't even look at the John G. Jones. But the other three brothers, who was Prince Hall, they wouldn't even let them enter.
Mm.
So that's why I say it's a governing body.
Okay, I'm gonna say this here. Someone just posted that he's up in the Midwest where you're at right now. He's about to submit his application. Application to join tomorrow. I want to see if I can speak to you before I do.
Give me my number.
Okay, so he want so if you're on live right now, cool. He can give me a call back later at this number, and I'll give him your number, or you can put your number in the chat, and that's up to you because I don't want to put it there and it'll be there publicly.
Well, you know, Pastor Grant, I trust you. I love you like a brother. Give me my number and just have him call me. I'm off tomorrow, and I will speak with the brother.
Okay. So, John, if you're hearing me, if you want to give me a call after the show, you're certainly welcome to do so. That number is 619-286-0642, and I will give you Big Coop's number, and you can talk with him. Definitely do that. And before I log off, I want to say thanks to everybody for coming on. I'm getting ready to go do a live Zoom right now. Whatever you do, please hit the like button. I certainly would appreciate it. And once again, if you want this CD right here, if you want this CD, you're going to need to send me your email. You can email me at John G. Jones, that is JGJ@yahoo.com. The first one to email me tonight will get this sent to them. No, Brother Humphreys, you can't do it again. So the first person to email me tonight, and please, I need to know what lodge you're in, or you can send me some notification letting me know that you are an active Mason. You can have this CD tonight. The first person to email me at jgj@yahoo.com. Let me know this is a reference to tonight's show, and I will email you, or no, I will mail this out to you. This will be your CD. Before I go, yep.
Send me the prices for that sweatshirt.
Oh, you like this sweatshirt? You like this? I'm giving away this tonight, bro. I'm giving this away tonight. This is from I had this here actually made up. Okay, I'm giving away this. This is actually a complete jogging outfit. They have the sweats with it. Okay, so if you have been making a contribution to the show, and you want to email me and let me know you've made contributions, I don't care how big or small, let me know. And if you're the first to do it, I would send you this. This is yours. Okay? This is yours. You gotta let me know your size though. I gotta know your size. Triple X, I don't know, but you gotta let me know your size. But this is yours. If you have made a financial contribution to this show and you are a Mason, I will send you this. But I need to know your size so I can make sure I get you the correct size. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. Other than that, I'm going to say good night. I'm off to do a live Zoom. God bless you. And whatever you do, stay out the bushes. The higher you climb, the clearer the vision. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Thanks, Coop. Ba-da-ba-ba.